following will involve minor spoilers for Dark Souls 3, like bosses or cutscenes. As this series is known for its mystery and exploratory elements, I felt the need to address that up front, and if you don't want to see moments from this game, give you time to skip to the next section. I am going to be honest, I have never heard anyone say anything about Dark Souls 3. For the longest time, I just assumed it was like a middling black sheep of the series. Like, I'm on record as disliking Dark Souls 2, but I know a large group of people love that game, so at least it has its vocal defenders. But 3, I've literally never heard shit about it. So because of that, I came in with like really low expectations of the game. And for a while, I don't think I was entirely wrong to do so. Dark Souls 3 feels like it's chasing its predecessor's tail a bit. There's this thin coat of paint over the Dark Souls tropes. The Ashen are talked about in the same tone as Hollows were. You immediately find out that you have to collect the souls of 4 big powerful dudes. And then in some cases, the paint didn't even stick, like how Anri is wearing Oscar's armor. And sure, yes, she's from Astoria like Oscar was, so there's an explanation there. But then, like, you get dead-ass Sigmire of Katarina back again. Like, literally, Sigmire, as you know him from Dark Souls 1, is in this game. And it's a little weird and on the nose feeling. In the actual game, it doesn't feel like it's getting off to its best start. The first couple zones feel very linear, like there's this nice sprawl to the level, but there's this lack of interconnectedness that the way Dark Souls 1 had pretty much right out of the gate. Ever so slightly compounding this is that I, for the first time, started with a dex build instead of a strength build, and Dark Souls 3 just hands you what I can only assume is the best dex weapon in the game, the Twin Swords, as a starting weapon. So like, you are off to the races immediately. It was fine. It was a totally acceptable Dark Souls experience. And then I got to the Cathedral of the Deep, and Dark Souls 3 kicked into high fucking gear. This might be the best Souls level I've ever played. This massive cathedral and exterior area that has multiple paths leading back to the lone bonfire at its base, all of which feel perfectly paced and fairly spaced out, and most importantly, exciting to explore and find. This level just keeps going, from tooling around the outside of the cathedral to running up on the roofing to exploring its massive interior with these awesome 2 giants that roam its center. There are so many different ways to interact with this level that serve as a massive step up in quality from the more cut and dry level expressions beforehand. And then from there, it is all gas. Dark Souls 3 starts pulling out the stops with some of the most breathtaking locales I've ever seen. There are exploratory vistas that make me halt my movement and just gaze out into the world, most of which is eventually explorable, and soak in just how beautiful it all looks. You start getting these insanely evocative pieces, like these unnaturally long female frozen tree things that instantly grab your attention, only to eventually be an enemy later in the level. And what's the deal with this bug guy over here in the corner? There's something cold and unexplainable about him. And then you traverse further and meet this massive wolf who stands proud in the distance and engages me when I get too close. Is he defending his land for me? I don't know, but my mind starts racing with what's going on. This is where Dark Souls 3 sinks its hooks into you. I like Bloodborne a lot, but I think it had some rough edges to it. The upgrade in console technology allowed for a higher amount of fidelity, but sometimes it just felt like object chaff to make the ground feel less empty. Dark Souls 3 has no such issue. Areas feel alive, or at the very least, felt alive, and you could easily get lost in looking at all the architecture and detail that went into the levels. Like, who is this guy slowly walking around? He is this breath of calmness as he slowly walks through the plaza before you continue on your journey to be assaulted by the most graceful and horrific creatures the world can offer. Like, what the fuck is this, and why is it scarier than anything in Bloodborne? Dark Souls 3 is my favorite Soulsborne game, and I don't even think it's close. Outside of how it kind of stumbles out of the gate, this game is phenomenal. Every new experience I had in the game was one that was so impressive, so evocative, that I couldn't help just constantly be bowled over by how much I was in love with the game. I don't replay games very often, but I could see myself doing another run with Dark Souls 3 with a strength build or something. It's just so good, and especially coming in with highly tempered expectations, I left Dark Souls 3 just floored by the game. Holy shit, this was so goddamn good. If you like world building, both lore-wise and physical, it is absolutely worth spinning through Dark Souls 3.